super excited to be here today. My name is Big Willie G. I'm the CEO and founder of Party On Demand. And let me tell you, it's good to be home, y'all. This is my home. Well, sort of, kind of, I'm adopted, okay? Party On Demand was born right here on this stage last year, 2017. And let me tell you, this year's theme is all about infinite possibilities. And less than 1 year from taking this stage last year and winning the best pitch competition, our world has changed. We went from zero to hero real quick. We're now doing business in Dubai, Saudi Arabia, Australia, and all over the world. And we're super excited about that. And thanks to your overwhelming support, so give it up one time, Montreal! I would never in a million years think that our product will be able to pre-launch today on a stage like this. And it's very important to have all of your support and all of the wonderful contestants coming up. So y'all ready to get this party started? Oh, no. I can't hear you. Are you ready to get it started? Let's get it started. Yeah! All right, let's get it going right now. Introducing our first judge. Evan is a relationship developing, possibility creating, audacious project ideating people, potential maximizing, enthusiasm amplifying kid at heart who never quite stops seeing the silver lining. Ladies and gentlemen, Judge Evan Petronic, captain of Venture Selection, Unreasonable Group. Come on up. Look good. All right. Next up is Elizabeth Yin. It's a co-founder and general partner at the Hustle Fund. Do the Hustle. It's a pre-seed fund for software entrepreneurs. Ladies and gentlemen, Elizabeth Yin. Ah, yeah. All right. Next up is Alice Zaguri. Zaguri is a CEO and co-founder of The Family. The Family provides entrepreneurs with the most favorable environment for success, education, tools, and access to capital. With over 350 million fundraised, 4 million views on YouTube, and incredible stories like Alagoya, Captain Train, AgriCool, PayFitInside.co, you know what it's all about. Oh, please give it up for one time for Alice Zaguri. All right, coming up to the stage next is Rachel Vanier, head of communications for Station F. Station F is the biggest startup campus in the world with over 1,000 companies based in Paris, France. Previously led comms at eFounders in Paris and San Francisco and has published 2 novels. Please give it up one time for Rachel Vanier. Last but definitely not least, the big man on campus, the man of the hour, the man, the myth, the legend. Give it up one time for Judge Adam Wang Levine, investor from Venra. All right, y'all, we're about to get this party started. It's that time. Now, you know how it goes. Each contestant only gets 3 minutes. That's right, 3 minutes to do their best pitch ever right here on their stage. After that, they get 2 minutes to get Q&A from our judges. It's a strict timeline, so I'll be on stage talking about, yeah, okay. All right, my bad. Okay, cool. Getting back into it. So y'all ready? We need all the support you can get, because this time last year, I was nervous, y'all, like in my tummy, in my belly, in my bones, you know what I'm saying? So make sure, it's definitely hard to get up here and talk in front of all you people. So put a smile on your face. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, then your face will really show it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. That's what I'm talking about. Let's get it started right now. Ladies and gentlemen, our first startup pitch competition 2018. Give it up for Raina Tabitha Shearsmart.
I'm going to let you in on healthcare's dirty little secret. Doctors and nurses, they chat about you using their smartphones at the expense of your privacy. In fact, the 43 million healthcare professionals around the world, of them, 89% of them use apps like WhatsApp and iMessage to take photos of you and share them in their network. They do this because the tools that are afforded to them are archaic and cumbersome, and at the end of the day, they just want to provide you with faster, better care. Many of them actually know that they're doing something wrong. Some of them find out for the first time that they're doing something wrong when they get investigated by the Privacy Commissioner. In Canada, when you're implicated in a health information privacy breach, mandatory fines begin at $15,000. In the EU, fines begin at 10 million euros. And in the US, on top of steep fines, you can even go to prison. That's why I, Rena Tabata, co-founder and CEO, former educator for UBC Medicine, teamed up with a health information privacy lawyer and a plastic surgeon to launch ShareSmart. ShareSmart is a secure clinical photography and messaging platform to allow healthcare professionals to collaborate securely in compliance with health information privacy legislation. Our interoperable enterprise dashboard lets administrators conduct privacy audits when they need to. Since their launch a year and a half ago, we've grown to 23,000 users in the health ICT vertical, worth $357 billion. We're the de facto solution in many large hospitals, including Toronto Sick Kids, NYU Langone, and Victoria Park here locally in Montreal. We are Apple's first health software development partner in Canada, and we've measured on major projects such as Japan's national hardware replacement strategy that'll see the replacement of 30 million walkie-talkie-like devices with iPhones revved up with ShareSmart. In Indonesia, we support the centralization of clinical data of over 260 million people. Our clinical co-founder wrote the national guideline for smartphone use in medicine in collaboration with the Canadian Medical Association, signaling loudly to the medical community globally, and further underscoring our compliance with the major health information privacy legislation, including GDPR and HIPAA. We're transforming the way healthcare protects your information, and we want your help. Talk to one friend in healthcare and get them to download ShareSmart. And if you're a health tech investor, we want to talk to them.
That is time. Give it up one time for Rena Tabata. Great job. You stand right here, and the judges will ask you questions. Judges, your 2 minutes starts now.
Congratulations on all of the progress. It's really awesome to see what you've done. One area that I was really curious about was how you think about go-to-market, just because at least in the US, it's been a little bit hard to sell into hospitals, and was thinking about how you've navigated that.
Yes, our primary markets are actually Canada, Europe, and Asia, including Japan and Southeast Asia. We leverage our partner channels to distribute ShareSmart. Oftentimes installed on iPhones, for example. When an institution, for example, makes a bulk purchase of iPads or iPhones, ShareSmart will go pre-installed on the 2,000 or 8,000 units that are being sold. Other times, there are entire hospitals or clinics coming to us and saying, we want your application, and we can deploy it remotely. So in that case, there's very little effort from our team. But we've got both distribution partners as well as our internal teams looking after the sales. Awesome. Thank you.
Any more questions?
Yeah. You had said if we have a friend to have them download it, and so this has to come from above within a clinic, or like it has to be a blanket.
Yes.
Solution?
So
okay.
When we first availed the application, it was for grassroots users through the app stores, so people can still do that. But when an institution licenses ShareSmart, they're able to distribute the licenses to their employees, and they've got additional accessibility to the enterprise dashboard that backs the usage of smartphone within their employee cohort. Cool. Thank you.
All right, give it a one time for Rena Tabata. Great job. Watch your step. Okay. We're going to keep it going. That's 1 of 7. 6 more to go. Let's go. Next up is Heather Abbey from Indig.
All right, good morning, Startupfest. Good morning, judges. My name is Heather Abbey, and I am a super proud Indigenous woman. I am from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. I'm part of Collabs. I'm part of the Canadian Technology Accelerator, and today I'm mad. I'm really mad. I'll tell you a story about last night. Last night we went for a walk, and I walked into an Indigenous art gallery, Indigenous store. The products weren't Indigenous. They said made in Canada. We went up to the store owner and we asked, where are your products from? Who are your artists? And they didn't answer. They said, oh, well, they're made in Canada. They're made in Canada. Well, who are they made by? They're just made by all over. No, that is not okay. My culture is not to be appropriated. And that's why I'm here today. That is fueling my fire. I grew up in Saskatoon. I grew up in Regina, actually. I grew up in a neighborhood that Maclean's magazine called the worst neighborhood in Canada. And I got out through art. I got out through entrepreneurship. I used to make these beautiful beaded earrings and feather earrings, and I sold them. And that's how I made my money. But I had so many friends that were doing the same. They were making these beautiful pieces of Indigenous art. But they had no way to sell them. They were trying to sell on Etsy. They were trying to sell on eBay. But they were getting lost in a sea of knockoffs. So they couldn't find their market. So me, I decided to create it. I created Indig Inc. It goes live today. Indig Inc. is an online marketplace made for Indigenous artisans by Indigenous artisans. Our market is simple. I charge $10 to my sellers, and we take a 20% deduction from the price of each sale. There are tens of thousands of Indigenous artisans that are self-identified right here in Canada, and they're going to make sales. I had a beta site that had 457 artisans online around the world, from Australia, Santa Fe, Toronto, and Vancouver, and they made sales. They made sales when they could not make sales on Kijiji, when they could not make sales on Etsy or eBay, because no one goes to Etsy looking for a hand-painted buffalo skull. But they came to me, and they sold through me. My marketplace is scalable, and it's going to grow. I'm a part of the Collabs, and I'm so proud to have that support because I'm self-made. I used to watch Dragon's Den, write down all the words I didn't know, and that's how I learned. But today I'm here on this stage. I am proud. I'm incredibly proud to be representing Indigenous artisans, Indigenous entrepreneurs with my scalable marketplace. So next time, ladies and gentlemen, you go to a gallery, you go to an Indigenous store, ask who the artists are. Ask who these people are that is selling.
Great job, great job, great job. Yeah. That's what passion looks like. All right, so I'm talking about, Heather. Judges, your 2 minutes starts now.
Okay, I heard. Congrats. I have two questions. First, you say they sell. Do you have some figures on growth at all? And second question is, do you have international ambitions as this issue maybe doesn't apply to other markets?
I absolutely do. Our sellers on our beta site, we had 457 sellers from around the world. Our global hotspots were Santa Fe, Australia, Vancouver, and Toronto. And we were averaging growth about 8 to 11 artisans per 24 to 30 hour period. So the word of mouth is really getting out there. And we were also doing paid advertising, which added on an extra 15 to 17 artists in about a 24-hour period as well.
Thanks.
Next question.
Yeah, did you start a website and a product, and can we see it somehow, somewhere?
www.indiginc.ca.
Okay, because that's what we are expecting, you know, when you're pitching, is to have this wow effect by the demo, because you have the drive, you have the energy, and we need to see this also.
Well, it went live about 17 minutes ago. And in Indigenous culture, we tell stories, which is why I purposely did not do the pitch deck today. I wanted my words to paint the picture for you all, so you could see the need and so you could see why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Do you select the people based on their, how do you make sure that they are indigenous?
Well, on my beta site, we had people uploading treaty cards. We had them uploading a letter from their elder. But even globally, the Indigenous arts market is small. So we had people that, you know, they could they knew if an indigenous artisan wasn't an indigenous artisan, as well as, you know, where they sell from, what their name is, who claims them. That was very easy to follow up if there was any question. But with all of our artisans, there was never a question in hand.
All right. Give it up one more time for Heather Abbey from Indy. Great job. Great job. All right. All right. Okay, let's keep this train going, baby. Let's keep that passion going. All right, ladies and gentlemen, coming to the stage next is Daniel Cohen from In Vivo AI.
Hello, hello. My name is Daniel Cohen, and I'm the co-founder and CEO at In Vivo AI. We're a team of biologists, computer scientists, and pharmacologists using artificial intelligence to transform the development of new medications. Developing a new drug is extremely difficult, so much so that it now takes 10 to 15 years and more than $2 billion to bring a drug to market. Throughout this process, more than 99.9% of drugs being tested will fail in preclinical or clinical development. The status quo of drug development is far from perfect. The tests being run today straddle ethical boundaries, translate poorly to human biology, are prone to human error, and are difficult to reproduce. Despite their flaws, these tests have generated massive biomedical data sets that cost billions of dollars to create. We believe that these data sets will unlock the future of pharmaceutical R&D. In the same way that advances in computing power have transformed object, image, and voice recognition, the convergence of massive biomedical data sets with advances in machine learning will reshape the process required to design, validate, and optimize new medications. In Vivo was born just 6 months ago when I was reviewing FDA proposals at Canada's largest healthcare fund, shocked at how poorly this data was being integrated across studies. So I joined forces with Terence, a molecular biologist who spends his days in the lab running these preclinical tests, and Prudencio, a machine learning expert already working with the world's largest pharmaceutical companies. Through Prudencio's work with Pfizer, we knew that drug toxicity was the single most important property to screen for early in drug development, so much so that almost half of all clinical trials fail for toxicity reasons alone. We spent the past 6 months building one of the world's largest pipelines of toxicity data, and we're using this data to pioneer the use of meta-learning in the pharmaceutical industry, a technique that allows us to build simulation environments that are more accurate, more versatile, and require less unique training samples than any of the approaches used today. We're using these models to derive novel insights into drug toxicity and disease, allowing us to filter on toxic molecules in the earliest phases of drug development more accurately, efficiently, and cost-effectively than the models being used today. But this is only the start. Our vision is to build tools to simulate all preclinical studies, not just toxicity, but efficacy, bioavailability, drug metabolism, and more. These simulations will help focus efforts on the drugs most likely to help patients, reshaping the drug development pipeline, and saving millions in R&D costs in the process. We're thrilled to be working closely with a growing list of biopharma entrepreneurs, senior R&D researchers, and world-renowned academics. We're in discussion with the world's leading analytics provider to the pharmaceutical industry about offering our tools on their platform. We're establishing a major research partnership with Canada's largest medicinal chemistry group, and we are actively engaging with the world's largest pharmaceutical companies and aim to close our first official partnership as early as September 2018. With over 7,500 biopharma companies worldwide and over 1,500 pharmaceutical contract research organizations, over $75 billion is being invested annually into pharmaceutical R&D. Computational simulation is the future of pharma, which is why we're opening our seed round so that we can build a world-class research team to help us change the face of pharmaceutical R&D. You can join us in this revolution to transform the development of medications for diseases like cancer, Alzheimer's, and diabetes. Or you can stick with the status quo. Choice is yours. Thank you.
All right, Daniel Cohen, In Vivo AI. Judges, you ready? It's showtime. Your time starts now.
Congratulations on building a pretty impressive product, it seems like, and being able to speak so fast.
Sorry about that.
The question I had was, I was a little bit confused. Are you selling directly into pharma companies? Are you going through channel partners, or how are you approaching that?
That's a really great question. We're actively figuring that out now. We're testing two hypotheses, so to speak. The first is that it's easiest for us to work with a channel partner. Second is that it's easiest for us to work directly with pharma. We're getting some traction with both approaches, and the aim is to kind of see how far we get and then use the feedback to iterate as we move forward.
Next question.
Yeah, so we've actually got a company in our portfolio that does something similar, not using machine learning on the animal side, like a kind of unique thing. Obviously, I think this is taking things the next step forward. So so is no one else using machine learning to do what you're doing right now? Like competition-wise, I'm just wondering what's out there.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a really hot space. There are lots of people who are now doing machine learning for drug development. People are working on different parts of the drug development pipeline. It's a massively complicated process bringing a drug to market, and there's lots of room for improvement. We believe that what we're doing with the approach we're using to solve for toxicity is fairly unique, and that nobody else is doing what we're doing and the way that we're doing it.
I may have missed this, but where are you getting your data to feed back into the model?
The platform has been built upon publicly available data. We're now working with pharma to supplement our existing models with private data. Same with these research groups. One of the purposes of initiating these studies is so that we can incorporate this proprietary private data into our models to help boost the accuracy.
So they are giving you your data even though they're not customers yet?
The purpose is to structure these agreements so that we get access to data, and in exchange they get access to tools that they can use to streamline their R&D process.
All right, that's time. Daniel, good job, man. Excellent job. One more time for Daniel Cohen and Vivo AI. Woo! It's getting hot in here. Literally, right? Okay. Next up to the stage from Lysina is Kyle Bim. Kyle Bim.
So recently, I'm driving on the 401 eastbound in my truck. It's a beautiful evening, no traffic. I'm cruising through the middle lane, and some guy in a silver Mercedes comes right up behind me, lays on the horn, and he's flashing his lights, and I'm thinking, what is this jerk's problem? Just pass me. So I dismiss it as his road rage, and I take an exit to a gas station, and at this point I realize that the back of my truck has been open for my entire drive, and this guy was just trying to help. It was this point that I realized we don't always get to see the other side of the story. My name's Kyle. I'm one of the founders of Lysina, and we build technology to help auto insurers. So recently, my sister Riley was in a bad accident, and it took over a month to get her settlement. It was a painful process, and it's because of things like this that people hate dealing with their auto insurers. But you know what? Maybe we're not seeing the other side to this story. The truth is, insurers are feeling big pain too. They are bleeding on these accident claims. Even as all of our premiums skyrocket, 70% of auto insurers lost money last year. How can that be possible? Well, the truth is, they just can't process their claims fast enough. Oh. Okay, anyways, we're going to move forward. So it's a very slow and manual process that's extremely prone to error. This is especially important because every single day that an insurance claim is open, it's costing insurers $100 on top of the repair itself. And 1 in every $10 is going directly to fraud. Now, to put that into perspective, my sister's 30-day claim cost her insurer an extra $3 grand, and she ended up switching companies after, costing them a customer too. Now, at Lysina, we are helping insurers close these claims faster and cheaper. But how are we doing it? Well, our proprietary AI analyzes all of the information available after an accident, including images of the crash as well as crash descriptions, in order to determine how best to proceed with that claim to ensure a quick, low-risk process and a happy customer. So let's pretend Adjuster Greg has just received Riley's claim. Now, instead of him wasting weeks dealing with scheduling an appraisal, dealing with validating the claim, and trying to negotiate a settlement, Lysina steps in to help. Immediately, Lysina can tell that this car is a write-off, and it scores Riley as a low-risk customer. So it fast-tracks this claim for Greg, skipping all the unnecessary steps and actually providing Greg with a, I'm going to skip ahead here, and provides Greg with an actual settlement recommendation. This saves the insurance company a ton of money and keeps Riley a long-term, happy customer. Now, this is just one small example of what we can do. As we grow, we're building our powerful claims intelligence engine, focusing on fraud detection and efficiency. Now, this is a huge opportunity, and we've already received written interest from a top 3 insurer to focus on a paid pilot this fall. But can we deliver? Absolutely. We are a team of accomplished AI engineers. We're supported by leaders in the space who've set into motion huge opportunities for us, and we're backed by some of the best accelerators in Canada. At Lysina, our goal is to make insurers' lives easier so they can make all of your lives easier. If that's something you care about, come find me after the pitch. Thank you.
Kyle, give me some. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up one time for Kyle Bim, everybody. Let me tell you something. It ain't easy when your slides get messed up, you know what I mean? You start being like jambalaya up here. You did a great job, Kyle. All right, great job. We gave him an extra 30 seconds just to let you know, guys, to compensate for his slides messing up. So get one more time for Kyle Bill.
Thank you very much.
All right, judges, your time is not going to mess up. 2 minutes starts now.
Go. Great recovery. Question about the onboarding and integration. Since you guys are even providing a recommendation for what the settlement should be, it seems like you're pretty integrated. What does that onboarding look like? How do you get to that?
So there's two options for this platform. A standalone SaaS for those insurers who do not have very strong claims management platforms to date, and that's able to integrate into all the existing systems that are pulling settlement recommendations from things like Kelley Blue Book or something like that, as well as, of course, feeding all the data that comes in after a claim. For companies that are a little further ahead and are using large-scale claims management like Guidewire software or something like that, we're able to operate in the back end as that intelligence engine where we can simply just jump in and minimize differences in the workflow to be able to just push this a little bit faster, just like that.
Awesome. So again, also great recovery. One question I had was, could you speak a little bit to the tech stack and exactly what you're doing? And then also just how are you training the system, and are you getting some type of flywheel to get more data?
So yeah, we're building specifically computer vision and natural language processing. There's a ton of deep learning going on that's actually able to understand all the images that are coming in, as well as processing all the unstructured text data, feeding all that in to be able to predict, based on historical claims, what is the best way to fix this. So it's like designing an appraiser who's seen every single claim ever. So that's essentially how the technology works. In terms of where the data is coming from, insurers already have all of this information, and it's very granular and readily accessible, surprisingly. So as we're running with this proof of concept with this large insurer, we have access to all that information that not only lets us build our first products that are executable, quick ROI, it allows us to build that engine around it so that as insurers dip their toes in the water with artificial intelligence, we're ready to take it to the next level.
All right.
Good to go? Thank you guys very much.
One more time, Kyle Bill. All right. Coming up next is Natalia One more time. I got messed up now. Natalia Michailova, excuse me, from Weave Air. Please give it up for Natalia.
Thank you very much. My name is hard as it is, so I completely understand. My name is Natalia. I'm a founder and CEO of Weaver. It's wonderful to see you today, audience, judges. I have spent the last 9 years as an engineer doing research on our building systems, researching how they impact our environment and us. And what I discovered is that our building systems are broken. There are several major problems, and the first one is contamination. We actually don't realize how effective the filters inside our HVAC system or purifiers are. This is causing a large effect on our health and productivity, resulting in over 6,500 loss per person per year in productivity costs. Second is undiagnosed issues. This is a huge problem, especially in our offices, but especially in the hospitals, where this is causing a lot of the energy being wasted, and also a large impact on the contamination on our health, as if you spend that time in the hospitals. And the third problem is the lack of data. There is new regulations coming into place across the world in Europe, Asia, and North America, but we still don't have sufficient good data to be able to track those issues. Our vision at Weaver is to develop sensors and predictive analytics to really solve those problems, to make our buildings more efficient and to make us more healthy. In the first implementation, we have a small device that can be added as a network inside the building to really track the metrics directly. It's a patent-pending technology, and it tracks a number of different physical, chemical, and biological metrics. The device is actually powered in part by the HVAC system, generating its energy and powering the battery, so you don't need to recharge it. And we also have combined all this data to offer proactive insights, so not just the data, but we predict failure. So some of the things what the system could do is could diagnose issues within the building, where it is and what the problem is, and prevent them. It can also save you a lot of energy. Over 20% of energy can be saved, and offer you a personalized filtration solution that's fit for your needs. So there is lots of companies in the space, but where we win is we actually track more metrics. We use those metrics to improve device accuracy, to reduce energy use by a greater amount, and to actually identify and control sources, not just identify the problem. We are also providing these devices on subscription model to organizations. As I mentioned, there is a huge problem right now with the building maintenance and contractors, where they spend a lot of time actually going to the site, tracking and maintaining those buildings. And we can solve this problem. We have spoken to many different organizations, and they're all extremely interested in this solution, because not only it can save them cost, but it can reduce their liability. We are going to market selling these devices to contractors and building managers, but in the future, we actually can work with consulting companies who can use this data to improve their customer service, and the real estate developers who can use this data to really meet the regulations in a much better.
All right. Good job, Natalia. Great job. All right, judges, you about ready? Your time starts now.
Hi, thanks. How do you plan on just be there and rising up, considering there are gazillion sensors that are sold on the market?
Sorry, what was your question? Could you clarify?
I'm sorry?
Could you clarify your question?
What's your plan for being a leader in terms of sensors, because it's such a competitive market?
That's a great question, actually. So our vision right now is to be able to start with the building industry. So we are actually quite differentiated from existing. You're right, there is thousands of different sensor solutions in the market, but we are quite differentiated because we can track more metrics. We don't require calibration, which is a big win, and we can actually improve the data much more precisely, in addition to offering actionable insights. But our long-term vision is to be able to integrate part of the building code, which is essentially would let us scale into much more building faster. We have already gathered a lot of partnerships in Asia, in Europe. We are doing a big study in the city of Antwerp, in Canada and US, as well as Taiwan this year. I was just recently returned from the trip. So this really lets us really scale out to a lot of buildings fast and really build up the presence. So, and by scaling, we can win compared to the competitors.
All right.
I've got one. If I'm a building operator, I probably have a ton of different sensors already, right? And so but I don't have an HVAC. So how simple is it for me just to like take yours and just dump it into my workflow? Like, is it open API? Like, how does everything work in terms of like the plug and play?
Thank you, actually, a technical question. That's awesome. So our system is actually very easy to integrate into the existing HVAC solution. It's a plug and play device. You just add it to the vents inside your building, and basically what it does is it connects to the router. It sends data in real time over Wi-Fi or other communication protocols, depending on the type of building. And we basically offer you a dashboard, like your contractor and as well as building managers, real-time tracking. So we actually work with enterprise customers right now, not residential, but in the future we plan to expand to there. But it's a very simple system to deploy. Thank you very much.
Okay, good job, Natalia. All right, thank you so much. All right, guys, competition's tough. I'm glad I'm not competing this year, okay? Let's keep it going. We got 2 more to go. 2 more to go. Okay, here we go. Get your cell phones ready for Succeed and Emily Blank.
This is the grocery shopping experience for hundreds of thousands of Canadians across this country. It's either rotten produce that isn't fit to eat, or it's astronomically overpriced. $12 for a pepper. The government programs and $100,000 growing operations just aren't working. But what if there was a way to not just give those in rural communities, but all of us access to fresh produce? And the solution was simple, affordable, easy to use. Meet Succeed, where we build hydroponic grow tanks that empower you and your family to grow fresh produce year-round, regardless of where you are. They operate indoors, using water, nutrients, and an LED light. And they operate on less than 30 cents per day. For less than a coffee a week, you can have fresh lettuce, kale, bell peppers, herbs. We're helping university students access fresh produce, giving seniors a chance to garden again, and educating our future generation. We found a variety of markets, but our focus right now is on the educational market. And we're doing it with Tim Hortons, who's funding our systems to go into every elementary school in Canada. Not only is that a $4 million business opportunity, but it will improve the education of 1.6 million Canadian students. Succeed was started by a group of volunteers that beat out over 77,000 university students around the world to be named the best student-run social enterprise. To date, we've generated over $380,000 in revenue, had sales in every province and territory, and we broke even 7 months into operation. We're a Next 36 venture. We're a SheEO venture. And most importantly, we're a social venture. All of our systems are built by the hands of at-risk and homeless youth, from those who just needed a hand up and not a handout. And a portion of our profits are used to donate our systems to rural communities, to launch food sharing groups. This is the impact that our team is having every single day.
In a full year that I've been with the program now, it's definitely changed my life in a lot of aspects. This isn't just a part-time job that I'm going to a few times a week. It's more than that. I mean, getting involved in the GED program that I got into through Succeed and the workers here. And it is really cool to be involved in something that started off as just another idea and kind of evolved into this like international business, and knowing that, you know, I can do whatever I want with my life.
This is what makes our team so proud. Today, our ask is in two parts. We're raising $250,000 to bring Succeed to the next level. But our big ask is to you, and you, and you, and you. It's for you to think about where your food is coming from. And if you believe in what we're doing, visit succeed.ca to purchase a system. Join Justin in Kanawaki and Justin on Parliament Hill, and the 800 other families from coast to coast that are growing a better Canada every single day. Thank you.
All right, yeah. Emily Bland. Boy, just got hungry right now. Ladies and gentlemen, 2 minutes starts now.
Okay, very briefly, thank you for your pitch. It seems to be amazing, but to be honest, I'm sorry, my brain switches off when there is the music because it looks like a living advertising. You have so many things to show, and you have these people who can get involved. Just talk to us simply without the music. It makes me feel more human, and I want to get involved in that case.
Thank you.
So the $250,000 that you're raising for growth, how will that be used? What's the game plan?
So two parts. One, hiring on additional staff to grow our team. But second is that we want to replicate what we've done in Newfoundland with our production facility across Canada and around the world. So creating multiple production facilities with a variety of at-risk groups so we can meet the demand that we have from the Tim Hortons partnership and other growth opportunities.
Talk a little bit about the unit economics. Like, how much does one of these boxes cost, and how much does it cost you to make and get it out there with delivery and all that?
So our systems retail for $350. Depending on where you are in Canada, it takes anywhere from $30 to about $60 to ship it directly to your house. We make an average of 42% profit margin on a variety of our systems and the products in which we sell. Yeah.
And then is it sort of a subscription for the veggies, or?
Yeah, so for $84 per year after you purchase our system, that covers all of the nutrient seeds, rock wool, everything that you need to continue growing afterwards.
And who are your main clients? Private people, schools?
Yeah, so originally when we started, our target was rural communities and household owners, but Tim Hortons approached us after hearing us at a pitch competition and wanted to do our expansion into elementary schools and saw that CSR tie. So right now our focus is on the elementary school students across Canada, so getting that out and working with Tim Hortons, but also to educate parents and to get children excited. When your kid comes home excited about kale and broccoli that they ate in their class, it starts to get parents engaged and get community members engaged in taking control of their food supply and eating healthy.
All right. Give it up one time for Emily. Good job. Who run the world? Girls. All right. Next up, our last contestant. You guys ready? You guys ready? Come on, clap it up. We made it. We made it to the end. We made it. Ladies and gentlemen, from SPEC, give it up for Michael C.
All right, hello Montreal. I'm Michael, and I'm with SPECT, and we're preventing blindness worldwide. We've built an engine, an AI engine, to prevent diabetic eye disease. 1 in 3 Americans are either diabetic or pre-diabetic, and 80% of them will develop diabetic retinopathy. Today, 1 in 4 of them will lose their vision, yet it could have been completely prevented with an eye exam. Only 1 in 3 of them go get an eye exam. They say, I can still see. Why go see the specialist? That is because it is very inconvenient, expensive, and time-consuming. And that is the question we've asked ourselves. Why see a specialist when nothing seems wrong? This is what has led us to build this device that is so easy that your grandmother can use it. Let me show you how it works. In between taking your weight and measuring your height, the nurse will take the device up to your eye and take a couple retinal images. It is very small, patented, and inexpensive, and it's so easy to use, they don't even need to know what they're looking at. There's an auto-capture algorithm that will capture the images for you. Next, the images are passed on to our artificial intelligence engine, and in under 10 seconds and with 97% accuracy, you'll get a diagnostic. It's better than your eye doctor, HIPAA compliant, and it's been validated and published in the leading journal Ophthalmology last year. And this is all possible due to our cloud portal and our international data partnerships. And we're confident we'll be able to expand this algorithm in the future to manage chronic cardiovascular and neurological diseases such as heart attack, stroke, and Alzheimer's. Medical devices are not easy. This is why we've made sure that we have all of our stakeholders are happy and that they win. The patients are happy. They do not need to go schedule an additional appointment. The general doctors are also happy. They have an additional procedure that they're able to bill for and are able to provide care without needing for referral. The eye doctors get more referrals of treatable patients and less routine exams. Finally, the insurance companies have less payout as the patients are detected earlier and have fewer emergency room visits. And finally, society wins as we have less blindness, as this could have been prevented in the beginning. And we've built the expert team to get this started. I'm an optics and imaging expert who dropped out of my PhD to pursue this problem. And my two co-founders are medical doctors who have deep connections with the National Eye Institute and are able to design clinical trials to get this on the road. We've got the support of the American Diabetes Association and have gained traction through a couple accelerators in the past. As we continue to de-risk and put the technology in the hands of doctors, we're looking for your support. And let's prevent millions from going blind. Thank you.
Good job, Michael C. I want to be like Mike. All right, 2 minutes starts right now.
Love what you're doing and just what it could do for the world. Where are you noticing the most traction in terms of people purchasing the actual devices?
That's a great question. So right now, we are partnering with clinics in lower resource countries such as India and China to develop this because they do not have access to these specialists readily. And with this simple device, they can get everything they need.
And then, sorry if I missed this. So it's both the device and then the back end of like processing everything. And so competition-wise, I know there's some other companies in this space, right, doing stuff like this. So what is the big differentiator for you guys?
So that's a great question. There's a lot of companies working on the separate pieces, but we believe that our value is in the data, and because we've created this inexpensive device, we'll be able to gather that data worldwide a lot faster than any other company.
How does the business model work?
So we'll be giving these devices out to the primary care doctors, and because they already have a billable code, we'll be taking a portion of that.
Oh, can you elaborate? So it's a one-time sale of this device. It's not a sale. You give it for free, but yes, you get money from...
That's right. So we're giving the device out for free to the doctors. They're able to bill $100 for each patient. We are thinking we'll take $10 out of that for giving the AI diagnostic of the patient, and then that becomes our revenue model. With over 100 million patients in the US alone, that is a lot of money for us every year.
How many of these do you have in the wild right now?
So right now we've got 10 of them. We've been working on a couple small clinical trials around the world.
Okay, cool.
Thank you.
All right, give it a one more time for Michael C.
Good job, man.
All right, all right, all right. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our startup pitch competition. You made it. Clap it up for y'all. Yeah. We want to thank all of our judges, Evan Petronic, Elizabeth Yin, Alice Seguri, Rachel Venge, Adam Wang Levine. We appreciate you guys so much. Want to remind everybody tonight, 5 p.m., closing ceremonies. We will decide the winner. And I'm talking to you in the camera, sitting in the audience. Next year, I want to see your pitch right here on 2019 Best Pitch Competition. My name is Big Willie G. I'm the CEO of Party on Demand, and we want to thank you guys so much for supporting our organization. You can see what you helped us to build with our community at Startupfest at partyo.com and partyondemand.com. We'll see you next year, guys. Be back here at 5 o'clock and give it up to our lovely, lovely, lovely Chris, our MC. We'll see you soon.